The Atlanta Hawks' surprising run to the 2021 conference finals was largely viewed as a once-in-a-blue-moon aberration. The odd underdog run, aided by luck of the draw, the weirdness of a pandemic season, and Ben Simmons' unwillingness to take a layup. But what happened in Atlanta last season was no mirage, and it had nothing to do with luck. The 2021 East Finals won't turn out to be a blip on the radar for Trae Young's Hawks. In fact, it was only the beginning, because the Hawks are built to win as early as this year, and they're built to last. The number one requirement of a legitimate title contender in the NBA, as it has been for all time, is a bona fide superstar at the top of your roster. That transcendent type of talent you just know when you see it. And it's getting pretty tough to deny that Ice Trae is now in that territory.
Here is Young, finds his spot. Young on the floater, puts it in. Trae Young with a miraculous shot.
Over the last 3 seasons, dating back to his sophomore year as a pro, Young's averaged roughly 27 points and 9 assists on 59% true shooting, and he just turned 23 years old. Now, usually when a player that young has posted prolific regular season numbers while owning a career losing record, we can point to the playoffs as some mythical hurdle the young star must still clear in order to prove himself. Well, we can't do that with Trae, because the guy absolutely balled out when the lights came on the biggest stage. There were legitimate postseason questions to be asked of Young before the 2021 playoffs tipped off, as being a small guard who relies on getting to the free throw line seems like a recipe for disaster and failure in the NBA's slowest, most physical 2 months of the year. But Trae met the moment, averaging nearly 29 points and 10 assists in nearly 38 minutes per game to help the 5th-seeded Hawks run the Knicks off the court, stun the Sixers, and then push the eventual champion Bucks to 6 games in the East Final, though Young did miss 2 of those final 6 games with injury. His first-round performance in particular against the Knicks squashed any concerns about whether Trae can be the guy in the playoffs. As at 22 years old, he went into the mecca that is MSG, with boisterous Knicks fans swearing at him.
It's a 9-0 New York run to lead by 9.
Trolling his hairline, and the mayor of New York City rattled by his play.
To Trae Young, on behalf of the people of New York City and anyone who cares about actually playing basketball the right way, stop hunting for fouls, Trae.
And just went about his business while being the greatest showman.
A step back 30-footer in the appropriate, you are in the garden, you might as well take a bow.
Just as it was fair to question Young's postseason viability before he shut us all up, it was also fair to wonder whether Atlanta could ever construct a competent defense with Trae on the court. As the 2021-2022 season gets going, that concern has also been rendered moot. The Hawks have built a core that's well suited to protect Trae and mask his defensive deficiency. The arrival of Clint Capella last year solidified Atlanta's rim protection and defensive rebounding, while John Collins' stunning defensive improvement surprisingly gave the Hawks one of the league's best defensive frontcourts. The newest additions of DeLon Wright, Gorgui Dieng, and even Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot should ensure head coach Nate McMillan has plenty of defensively capable options to choose from. The key to Atlanta's defensive potential, however, is DeAndre Hunter. The third-year forward looked like one of the NBA's most improved players last year before a meniscus injury derailed his sophomore campaign. Hunter is very much the glue guy for the Hawks, a connector on both ends who's shown more off-the-dribble prowess than anyone envisioned. His ability to be more than just a 3-and-D guy unlocks so much for the Hawks and raises Atlanta's ceiling, but his greatest value to this team is still on the defensive end. Hunter's ability to guard the opposing team's best perimeter players and bigger forwards makes the jobs of Collins and Capella behind him that much easier, while somewhat neutralizing the defensive concerns on the perimeter that come with playing Young, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Kevin Huerter, Cam Reddish, and Lou Williams. Though it should be noted, Bogdanovic and Huerter at least compete on the defensive end, and Reddish has shown encouraging defensive improvements. If you watch the way Hunter frustrated MVP favorite Luka Doncic in Atlanta's season opener, you understand why the Hawks were more than 7 points per 100 possessions stingier with Hunter on the court last season as opposed to the bench. The Hawks jumped from 28th defensively in each of Trae's first 2 seasons to 18th last year. But when all 3 of Hunter, Capella, and Collins were on the court, Atlanta posted a defensive rating that would have been 12 points better than the Lakers' top-ranked team. If Hunter and that front court are healthy, don't sleep on the Hawks jumping from middle of the pack to top 10 defensively. The Hawks are also built to rack up regular season wins thanks to what looks like the deepest rotation in the league. Depth was already on Atlanta's side last season, but with Wright, Jang, and TLC replacing an underwhelming group of outgoing players, plus draft night steals Jalen Johnson and Sharif Cooper looking like they can at least give the team some NBA-ready minutes, it's hard to find a single player on this roster who isn't rotation caliber. Between Lou Will, Reddish, Gallo, Herter, Wright, and the currently injured Onyeka Okongwu alone, that's already a 6-man group capable of being the best bench in the league. While the starters should be boosted by hopefully healthier seasons from Hunter and the unconsciously clutch Bogdanović.
Great trap in rotation. Herter under duress. Bogdanović for 3. Oh, killer. And he says shush to the crowd.
Even Atlanta's already impressive 5th seed in 2021 doesn't tell the full story of the quality of team the Hawks have built on, as the club went 27-11 once McMillan took over from Lloyd Pierce. So to summarize, this is a superstar-led team that boasts the NBA's deepest roster, is solidly balanced on both ends, is coming off of a season in which they played at a 58-win pace under their new coach before making the conference finals, and they've gotten better since then.
What more do you want?
You can call them fringe contenders if you want, because I get it, it's hard to actually envision Hawks jerseys gathered around the Larry O'Brien trophy, or to envision them beating teams like the Bucks, Nets, or Lakers 4 out of 7 in the playoffs. But if you just look at the facts, everything about this team screams true contender. With Young, Collins, Capella, and Herter all locked up through at least 2025, Bogdanović through potentially 2024, and Hunter, Reddish, Okongwu, Johnson, and Cooper still on their rookie scale deals, the Hawks should be legitimately competing for Eastern Conference supremacy well into the future. With all that talent under long-term team control, Gallo's deal being non-fully guaranteed next year, some veterans on expiring contracts, and the fact the Hawks own all of their first-round picks going forward, Atlanta's also well-positioned to make a win-now move for another star.
It's all coming together. It's all coming together. This is it.
Whether you want to talk about this year or the future, everything seems to be coming up Hawks. Don't forget that when you're trying to forecast who might be the last team standing come June. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.